It is a dog fight for tonight's night court when Laurel Chore decided to pursue a grad program in London. She asked a Manhattan man to take care of her beloved rescue dog Digby while she was away, but all kinds of delays because of COVID-19 travel restrictions. So Chore says when she finally got home, the man, Oliver Dixwell Chase, refused to return Digby, and now she's suing to get her pupper back. Let's see who actually has a dog in this fight with dog owners and lovers, civil rights attorney Robert Patillo, and Irie is with him, and criminal defense attorney Brian Claypool. Brian, I know it's unfair advantage, but the cuteness factor is going to matter here. So let's start with Exhibit A from the complaint. Okay, it was always intended between the parties that the plaintiff's dog would be returned to the plaintiff by the defendant. No written or oral agreement was ever made for the defendant to permanently retain Digby. Brian.
Shannon, so who gets dibs on Digby in this high drama dog dispute? Got that right. So look, the good news is there's no law on dog theft and dog kidnapping. That's a good thing, so that means it's not happening a lot. So what do we have to look to try to resolve this? Well, I looked up this concept called bailment. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but like when you take your car to a valet, you're giving the possession of property to somebody who's watching it for you. That's what happened here. It's like a bailment. The fact there's no written agreement, I think, favors Oliver here because it doesn't set forth the terms of how long he's supposed to watch. But the biggest legal doctrine I found that I think applies is called abandonment. So I know in California, for example, if you leave property in an apartment for more than 30 days and the landlord says, hey, get rid of your property. If you don't, then the landlord can take the property. So I think that's the best argument for Oliver here, which is, did he tell Chore, hey, you got to come back and get your dog? And by the way, was Oliver paying for a lot of things? Was he paying for the dog mani-pedi, for the teeth cleaning, for the tea time at noon on Sunday? If he was paying for all that and dog food, then I think he's got a good argument.
Okay, I got to get Robert and Irie in here today. By the way, is Irie like on some doggy CBD or something? Because he is very chill. Biscuit Bream would not behave that way. He's super cute. Okay, Exhibit B. The New York new pet custody law, by the way, signed by Governor Hochul in October, says in awarding the possession of a companion animal, the court shall consider the best interests of such animal and any other factor which the court shall expressly find to be just and proper. So, Robert, I mean, what if the doggy now is used to the new owner, has a routine, is going to be in some way traumatized by going back to the original owner? I don't know.
Well, look, I understand that, but I'm not quite sure how exactly the courts are going to determine the best interest of the animal. And traditionally in American law, animals, despite being wonderful and adorable, are seen as being property. So you can't just take somebody's property because they left it in your care for too long without an agreement to do so. So if there is a lease agreement, for example, if you have a landlord, if there's an ownership agreement, that will be governing. But in this case, either the pet sitter is guilty of conversion for stealing the person's dog and needs to pay damages for that, or they have to return the animal and then sue them for damages for as Brian said, for the cost of taking care of the dog. But I don't think under any set of laws you can just take someone's dog because you feel like you've had it long enough. There's no custody. There's no 90-day rule. There's no 5-second rule. He who left it gets to keep it. So I don't think that there's going to be much of a case for Oliver, and the individual who left the dog for dog sitting may have to pay him for taking care of the dog, but he won't get possession of the dog.
Okay, super quick, we got to go. Would you fight for Irie?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be in court. It's going to be, brass knuckles, so you're not taking it.
Okay, and Brian, I think we have your doggy Runyon. We have a picture. I ask you the same question. How far would you go to get Runyon back?
Well, I would go to Earth's End for my daughter to keep Runyon, and I would not want the doggy DCFS involved in any capacity with Runyon.
All right, now I'm going to put up the shameless picture of Biscuit Bream because I, too, would probably be, if Robert would have my back, showing up to get my dog back. There she is in her happy place. Same as her mother, the beach. All right, guys, thank you very much. We'll follow the case.
Thanks, Shannon.
Yeah.